Hi guys, it's Raoul Monks, founder and director of Flume Sales Training. Thanks for joining today's Flume Sales Chat, where we're joined by Jordan Adams, MD, founder of MarTech Tracker. We've got Jordan Adams on here today because the last few weeks, although tough, have been very successful in terms of performance for his business. And we've asked him to talk about warts and all, what his team's been through, what the team in terms of leadership have put into place and what they've learned and how they're positioning the company to come out as a stronger position as possible. Hopefully for you guys and girls watching at home to be able to take some of this on board and put it into place in your teams and businesses. So Jordan, hi.
Hey, Raoul.
How you doing?
I'm very good. Thanks for inviting me onto this. I think this is one of the big positives that's come out of all of this is reconnecting with people that swim around you and you don't speak to as often.
Yeah.
But also the amount of good content that's going out. So I just wanted to recognise the work that you and the guys at Flume are doing. So delighted to jump on a call with you.
Thank you. So I'm keen, first off, before we kind of go into the real detail of this, just tell anyone who doesn't know who you are or MarTech Tracker a tiny bit about you guys, and also a bit about how you're seeing this situation at the moment, and then we'll go into more depth.
Yeah, sure. So as you've alluded to, I'm Jordan. I'm founder and MD of a business called MarTech Tracker. My background has been B2B sales, working for publishing companies, running commercial teams of all shapes and sizes across ads, events, data. And then I had the sort of itch a couple of years ago to set my own business up, which started life as an outbound telemarketing business. And that's morphed into MarTech Tracker. So we principally help publishers fulfill their demand gen. We help agencies define who they're going after. And then we work with tech vendors to try and essentially connect them with their future prospects. So we're a demand gen business based in London. And there's just short of 20 of us.
Okay, great. So tell us about kind of what's happened since we've got into this strange place that we're in now. What was the kind of the first instant impact this had on your business? What's kind of been the process you guys have gone through to get to where you are now and having what's actually been a pretty strong few weeks?
Yeah, I think you teed it up really nicely about some of the successes we've had, but there's almost a nervous feeling about being able to share any success in this environment. And that's one of the things that I'm hoping starts to come to the fore, because I think we're all aware we're in a tough backdrop. I think all of us are suffering in different levels. But we've had a successful period through this. I'm not naive to think that that will continue all the time, but we have been successful through this. But going back to your point about how I've seen it played out, I predominantly, particularly if you take me out of it, I manage a reasonably young team. So a lot of the work that we did when this situation was put on us was really to try and take the fear out of all of it. So the management take that I've taken is to remove fear and to try and give some comfort around it. But we actually left our office. We're based in Shoreditch, and I was jotting down trying to work out the date, but we shut our office on the 16th of March, which I think was probably about a week ahead of others. But I remember the day I came in, mentioned to the guys that we're going to close the office. There was certainly some, not pressure, but people were starting to ask me the questions about what we were going to do. We were really nimble. It was a case of grab your laptop, let's get Ubers. But we ended up going to the pub, almost as if to say, when will we see each other again? But we had a really, really clear plan. So we sort of spoke about it on the Monday the 16th, and by the 17th we were operating remotely. But I think just going back to that, I remember London being a very strange place at that point. This was when the messaging was starting to come out about social distancing and what this all meant. But I think the first actions we took was quite literally, can we get everybody to a home working environment? But being very conscious that some of us don't have the luxury of different rooms and gardens. So we adapted very quickly I worked with all the team to work out whether they were better going home, often to their parents, to give them a bit more workplace environment, or those that were in shared accommodation, how could we support that? And how could we adapt the working hours to accommodate sort of 4 or 5 people in a house all trying to get to the kitchen coffee table and jump on calls. So the immediate reaction was, this is unfamiliar for all of us, but how can we keep some familiarity?
Yeah. And then I was speaking to one of your colleagues or team members, Emma, the other day, and she was talking about some of the changes in terms of kind of the style of leadership, and talked about targets and things like that. Can you share some stuff around how you've adapted as a leadership team in this time?
Yeah, well, I think so. The Tuesday, we worked out on the first day after moving to remote working that we wanted to try and replicate the very best things over Zoom calls, but equally not just have Zoom calls for everything. So we felt that the morning meeting is a real integral part of our company. So it's sort of like an all hands, everybody joins and it's sort of a 5-minute update. So we wanted to keep that in place. We were very quickly out into the marketplace around building a social piece. So I think we were one of the first businesses to build a virtual pub quiz. So that was in play already on the Tuesday. But the main thing that we did is I removed internally my job title MD.
Oh.
I said that I'm in the same level as all of you. Hierarchy goes out the window. You need leadership, but I'm not an MD. I need to work with you guys left and right of you to support whatever task needs doing because we're blindsided to each other. So that was the first thing, change my title internally. We moved to sort of flat management structure across the business. And the main thing, you've alluded to this, but we took away working hours fully and moved to results only. We took away sales targets because I wanted to just adapt to the new environment without having additional pressures. So we took away as many pressures as possible, working hours, having to log into certain times, having to turn up at certain virtual meetings, having the pressure of sales targets. So we took everything away that would have any indicator of pressure or stress immediately, including hierarchy.
Wow. Go into that if you don't mind. That targets bit fascinates me. And I've read some case studies on this before this time period around some very successful companies who have taken away targets because it allows salespeople to do stuff for the right reasons for the client, and it makes it easier for them to see stuff. And you're kind of a walking, talking case study on this. But I'm imagining that watching this from home or on LinkedIn or YouTube, wherever you're watching it, that could sound like quite a big, scary thing to do. And it's a very brave decision by you. Why did you feel that was so important? And also, what would you say to anyone who's thinking, well, we couldn't do that?
Well, I appreciate the term brave. For me, it was a no-brainer. And it boils down to the just implicit trust I have in my team. So the trust factor was a big point in that decision because we're in a business, I alluded to the size of our business in terms of team, where everybody sort of knows everything, the nuts and bolts and all. So to remove sales targets certainly wasn't going to mean we don't need to make money, but it just removed, I've mentioned that I've got a lot of young people in the business about how am I going to navigate through the sales environment when the truth being, I don't know either, not at the time. So yes, maybe a brave decision, but I just felt it was the right decision. And there is a real case in point now that I can reflect back that by removing that sales target, you are absolutely encouraging conversations with prospects or current customers without having an agenda in your mind that is tied into your personal success. So brave, naive, but it just felt the right thing. I think you just got to be authentic in that situation.
Yeah. So in terms of other adaptations that you guys have been able to put into place because it sounds like, I think your phrase was nimble. You've been very agile in this time. And being a smaller business of around 20 people, I suppose there is a benefit there of being able to do that. But what other changes have you put into place? So it talks about some leadership pieces. What else has changed? What else have you actioned or done to make it easier for you guys, and I'm assuming your clients, to kind of come through this?
So I think there's a couple of things. I was trying to jot these down because I was thinking about some of the stuff that we did. So I just want to go back to welfare of staff. So we have a health and wellbeing membership to an organisation that allows all of our staff 24/7 access to health and wellbeing advice, support around all of the challenges that might come, particularly with young people. So the first thing we did was reiterate that message to the team that this extra support is available. So made sure they had contact details. It's normally a poster on the toilets in our office. So we made sure that information got straight out. I think the second thing is I got the team very, very early to think about what we could take advantage of now that we haven't got the office distraction. So what do we want to come out of this looking like? And the biggest thing that came out is we decided as a company that we wanted to work out who the next hire was going to be. So collectively, in this process, where do we spot, now that we're not in front of each other, where our next hire needs to come from? Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it ops? Is it, hopefully not, leadership? Because that would allow us to therefore really concentrate on the processes in our business and work out, there really is a problem there because I can't saddle up to somebody's desk. So we had this team objective, which was who's going to be our next hire, which amazingly has come to the fore in the 6-7 weeks we've been away. I've asked all my team to come to me individually and tell me who they think it is, and they've all landed on the same job title. So it's quite remarkable that that's happened, because they can see where we're required. So I think that was the second bit. The third bit that we did was we got our communication out really early. Really early.
What do you mean?
Our external communication to both our clients, to prospective individuals, even down to our landlord. I think all of our communication went out to everybody involved within an hour of us working remote. So we let all our clients know what we were doing, not closed down. We had very honest emails, which is, this is the support we're going to give you above and beyond. This is the help we need from you.
Yeah.
And we were really clear about that. So we didn't overservice people, but we knew that communication was key. So basically what we said is, if we used to speak to you once a day, we'll speak to you 5 times a day until you tell us it's annoying. But you need to know what's going on to allow your business to make decisions. But we were very honest with them. And from a sales perspective, one of the things we put in an email to all of our customers is, please, please, please don't squeeze us on price during this time. We were very honest, because the natural reaction is try and save costs. So getting communication out was critical to us. And then the final thing that I think we did straight off the bat was, I mentioned that we took the hierarchy away in terms of sort of management. I wanted to lead through comfort rather than through any hierarchy. But we created very quickly, the trendy word I suppose is huddles, but we had different departments working with each other that were helping the business lights on. So we were using salespeople to help create internal processes that meant we can get things quicker to clients. We were using marketing individuals to help create different marketing messages internally. So internal comms were better. We were using business support to make sure that we had the best tech. Was it Zoom? Was it Microsoft Office? So I think collaboratively what we tried to do, and it's an obvious thing to say, but we just try and be honest in our business. And we were very quick to get on the honesty piece, both internally and externally.
It's interesting, again, when I was talking to Emma Lang, who was nominated for being an exceptionally strong performing salesperson right now, one of the things she talks about and came through completely in the interview was around this authenticity and being human. And it feels like the approach that you've used up there is kind of filtering down and having the right impact on the salespeople and then the clients.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And I think sometimes I just think it's about authenticity. I honestly think this is what hopefully makes great leadership. And I'm not trying to throw myself in a great leader category, but I just think in any relationship, if you're honest and you're authentic, and that's whether it be with customers or with prospects or with your own team, and everybody knows where you are, it's quite easy to manage people and it's quite easy to manage relationships. So we haven't second guessed anything. We didn't go out as salespeople to start saying to our clients any narrative that we didn't believe was true. We didn't start going out with unbundled offers that were just cash driven or price driven, because with due respect, some of the companies we're dealing with, cash flow is not going to be an issue. They actually want to press on the accelerator. So sort of second guess the messaging that needs to go out. And the authenticity thing, we had some comms that went out that we felt needed to come from certain people or individuals that were sort of, I don't want to use the word corporate comms, but they had one message. But as a team, particularly from the sales team, what I asked them to do is go out and do the personalization, not dear and then change their first name. I mean genuine personalization, and use this exercise to get to know people better. And I think that's what's really strengthened our business. I said to my team the other day, I've never felt closer to our industry. I've never felt closer to my team. I've never felt closer to our customers. That's the biggest thing that we've got out of this. So yeah, I think it's just authenticity is the big thing that I've seen in this period.
Well, one of the things that we talk about at Flume, and we're trying to follow ourselves as well, is that really important in this time right now is to know how you want to be remembered by your clients and by the community, because what you do now can have an impact forever. And you mentioned around kind of there is you've never been more connected, and we kind of feel the same way. But I believe that's because we went through a process of saying, how do we want to be remembered? What do we want to stand for right now? What part has that played at MarTech Tracker?
I think that's brilliant. I mean, we have the same conversation, which is I actually talk to my management team about this all the time, saying, what do you want to be known as a manager? You know, being a manager is just about being consistent. So if you want to be a tough manager, or somebody puts their arm around the shoulders, or somebody that rules with an iron fist, that's absolutely fine, providing it's consistent. You know, if I suddenly change my management style overnight because I've had a bad day, it just wouldn't land. So I think in terms of sort of what you want to be known for, or what's the reputation you want to come out with, that is a key message we had. And I said that what we wanted to come out of is, when the backdrop that was happening and is happening and going on, that we were the people that just kept it honest. That just, when we went to the guys at MarTech Tracker, they just kept it honest. And by the way, being honest has seen us turn down a lot of work.
Yeah, I heard that.
We don't think it's the right thing. We think it's, our experience tells us it's not the right thing. So yeah, I know it's a hard thing to sort of touch and feel, but just coming out of it going, these guys were honest.
Yeah, okay. So final question. Actually, I've got two questions, actually. Penultimate question. You're quite a connected guy. You're on LinkedIn a lot, and quite well known in different industries. What mistakes have you seen people making that you think are like the crucial ones to highlight, to try and avoid right now?
Wow, Raoul, you know me, I don't normally come from a sort of glass half empty mentality. So to pick off mistakes, I think I've bleated on and on and on about this. I've seen a number of businesses suddenly act different that I know is not core to what they're about, because they're being dictated by what they think they should be saying rather than what they should be saying. So I'm talking about the outbound communication I'm seeing. So if we use LinkedIn as a platform, I'm seeing businesses and individuals suddenly act a bit out of character. Now that's totally normal when you're trying to adjust to a scenario that's going on, but the authenticity's gone a little bit. So that's the first thing. I keep banging this drum: be truthful, be authentic. So the first mistake I've seen is that. The second bit that I've seen is losing sight of what you were trying to achieve. So you might need to scale back some of those things. But one of the things that we've tried to push forward as a business is, what actions are temporary and what actions are adaptation. Because we're learning that, you know, Zoom is better than Microsoft Teams, and why can't we have a more huddled-based working environment? So that's not temporary, that's adaptation. So I've seen lots of businesses that focus too hard on the temporary side of business rather than thinking, actually, could this become the new norm, the adaptation bit? So that's the two things that I think I'm seeing people make mistakes on.
Okay, fab. Final question. I'm asking this of everyone that we're doing these Flume Chats with. It's from a sales angle, this one. So if you were to give one piece of advice around selling right now in the industry to clients, what works, what doesn't work, and you imagine you're a salesperson watching this right now, what bit of advice would you want to share with them as to kind of how to do things at the moment?
I think having seen the interview you did with Emma from my team, the biggest advice I'd advise right now is just up your communications significantly. That doesn't mean driving sales message down somebody's throat. It's just up that conversation, or up your personal brand or your business brand, double it and then double it again. That's the single biggest thing that I think is driving all of this, and it's the whole reason why we're doing this interview right now. So that's my advice. Just, you can't do too much in this point, but don't keep ramming the same message.
Okay, awesome. Jordan Adams, thank you very, very much for your time today. Hopefully you found that useful. Some core bits that have come out of this right now is that, quite obviously, a strong leadership approach in these times is incredibly important, and doing things for the right reasons for you and your clients has never been more instrumental in terms of helping you get through this process. Authenticity came out of this massively, communicating more than ever and making sure you're bringing your teams together to know how to work together is absolutely crucial too. Tons of other tips in there as well. And if you've liked this, then please share with anyone you think it could be useful to. It could be useful for your clients as well. So get this out there as much as you can. Please have a think about how you can use this in your business. And if you know any other people who you think should be nominated or should be put forward for these Flume Chats that can share best practice and help other people in the industry, we'd love to hear and get them on here and have a chat and hear about what they're doing. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks again, Jordan.
Thanks, Raoul. That was brilliant fun. Thank you.
And we'll see you all soon. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.